What is the Xbox expansion pass? I don't know. Oh, hello. Greetings. I am 343 Guilty Spark, monitor of Installation 04. Greetings to all of you reclaimers here on Xbox Expansion Pass. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Tim Dodabo. Yes, this is my real voice. And yes, I would be there, but you blew me out of the sky. Congratulations on this, man. This is momentous. Almost 100 episodes of this. I can't believe it. Oh, I remember when I was 100, so very, very long ago. Xbox expansion.
Welcome one, welcome all to episode 104 of the Xbox Expansion Pass, recorded on Sunday, October 17th, 2021. I am your host, Luke Lohr, the InsipidGhost. In this episode, we're joined by Xbox Canada's Ryan Whitehead to discuss this week's gaming news, including the reveal of the Xbox Mini Fridge, 2 trailers coming out of DC Fandome for plenty of Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and Gotham Knights discussion, along with just a bit of zombie horror here for you at the end. Enjoy. Yet another week of gaming is upon us and behind us. Welcome to XEP, discussing all things in the Gamerverse as they pertain to the Xbox ecosystem. And as I am wont to do each and every week, I like to start the show by offering words of kindness to those who have made my gaming week better. And this week, the words of kindness go and extend to my guest for this episode, Mr. Ryan Whitehead, Xbox Canada's Twitch and former Mixer host as well. Ryan, how are you, sir?
Woo! Rip Mixer. I'm so sad, but but I'm great, man. It's such an honor to be on the show as a longtime listener, first time guest. It's really it's a dream come true. It's a superhero episode, so I'm happy to be part of it.
It is a superhero episode for sure. I am glad that you are here because those words of kindness that I speak of, my friend, you got me through so many rough days while you were streaming on Xbox Canada's channel for Mixer. And then when we went into work from home, you guys were over on Twitch and you're still working there. There were some rough days where I just needed to lurk and listen to some positive gaming moments. And that's what you did for me, man. And so It is a pleasure to hear your praises for me and XEP is surreal because I think those things about what you guys do over at Xbox Canada. And as a non-Canadian, I always felt a bit of kinship with you guys because of how welcoming you were. So cheers to you, man.
Oh, thank you. And cheers to you as well. And oh man, it's funny how I discovered you because Xbox Canada has such high praises for you as well. The lead on social, his name is Matt. He talked about your show, and he's like, "You should check it out. It's like really good." And then ever since then, I've been a fan of your work.
Well, there we go, man. So we're both feeling good. This is exciting. Cheers to Matty Matt as well.
Yeah.
Helped me get to visit an E3 when I was a part of the Xbox Drive, which is super cool. So, man, it's good times all around. We've got a lot to talk about this episode. There is an Xbox mini fridge. I don't know if you've heard of this. That's out and about. We've got, well, before we even get to the mini fridge, there's also news in the Suicide Squad realm for gaming, news in the Gotham Knights realm for gaming, and DC Fandome blessed us with quite a few trailers to enjoy. Dude, there's just so much to start with. Let's go with the fridge. Let's start with the fridge.
Let's start with the highly voted, the highly anticipated Xbox Series X fridge, a 6-foot, 400-pound, 1-to-1 scale replica. It's just an amazing piece of fridge. Who'd have thought that Xbox would escalate to this level? Who'd have thunk it? You know, like
right.
It's amazing.
Well, that's kind of the thing is this began as a meme, and
Hmm.
Microsoft has worked so hard over the last few years to really up their social game and connect with fans by way of social media. And that has meant, getting involved with memes, having more activity in social spaces, comedically and otherwise. And when the Series X was announced, the first thing people noted was that it looks like a fridge. Suddenly, a fridge shows up at Justine's house and it looks amazing. Also, she had the
Oh
cleanest
yeah.
garage ever. That was fake. Come on now. Come
Yeah,
on.
no one has a garage that looks that clean. Like we all have
Exactly.
car holes. She actually has a garage. We have car holes.
Yeah. It was crazy. I was like, "No way, Miss Justine. I don't believe it." But
Yeah.
it started as a meme, and then people called for it to be something that they would buy. I know I want to buy one, and they've
Hmm.
finally given us details on when pre-orders go live, where we can get them in the States, in Canada, when it's going to be coming available to other territories. I mean, it's kind of cool that this joke of a meme is now something that people want, and genuinely want, and it's priced
Hmm.
affordably. It's cool.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. I'm always a fan of when studios go or like studios or especially consoles go a little above and beyond and create things outside of just gaming stuff. You know what I mean? Like I know
Mhm.
Call of Duty did the mini fridge at one point as well. And I love when they do that because the more they give you to allow you to celebrate as a fan, the more you feel closer to the brand. Like,
Right.
growing up, in that skater phase, it was all like, it's like posing and all that stuff. It's like, no, man. Like, if you love a brand enough and you align with their mission statements and all that stuff, then yeah,
Mhm.
like if you can celebrate it as much as you can, go for it. Like, just go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think what's so fun about this is that it works. It's more affordable than I would have expected. They did. I
Mm-hmm.
should share with the listeners the details on that. The first wave of production, and they were very clear on the wording on this, which I think is encouraging. The mini fridge is going to be available at Target and Target.com for U.S. residents, and it's only $99 American, which to
Mm-hmm.
me is way better than I was thinking I was going to be paying for a second Series X in terms of pricing. Fans in Canada can get it directly from the Xbox Gear Shop, and that's
Oh,
for
I
the
love that.
first wave. Yeah, exactly. I'm
Mm-hmm.
so glad they found a way to make sure that the first wave of deliveries they're going to get, it's in all likelihood they're going to be able to regulate how people pre-order because they've learned a lot about pre-orders over the past few years and avoiding scalpers. But with it being the first wave and more to come soon for other places, I'm stoked. It's also, I don't know if you saw the TikTok that Aaron Greenberg put out. By the way, TikTok, it's for the youths. I found this on the Twitterverse that somebody had screen capped from TikTok
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not hip. But this thing's big enough to put a Series X in. Did you see that?
It's yeah, I have not, but I have heard about it. But it's pretty crazy how big it is. But again, I can't you have to go and you have to compliment the Xbox social team. I don't
Mhm.
know what happened at which point, at what critical point did they just turn around and just be like, yo, let's just like have fun with social. And they have turned it up to 11 and they've been posting the most hilarious social stuff on like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. And it's just a joy to watch. Every post they come out with, you just want to be the first to check it out and then be a part of that post. Like the whole launch of the Xbox One S post, that was hilarious. But way to turn it to an advantage. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it did not go as planned. And as gamers, we need to understand, like, I understand people want to be the first to get that information because we live in such a strong influencer world, and there's a way to do it right. luke Luke does it right. So but there's a way to do it right. And the thing is that being a part of being very small, like a speck of the world of Xbox in terms of working with them and everything, it's really hard when something leaks because and it's hard to say, but like it hurts because they have a plan and they want to release it a certain way. Now on the gamer side of the spectrum, there are times where I look at companies and I'm like, ooh, you should have announced this like way sooner. Like this is not the way it should have been. But Xbox, when that leak happened, and they just turned it into an advantage and brought all the attention to them, in the
Mm-hmm.
most hilarious way, and then still delivered exactly what they wanted to do.
Right, right. I mean, award winning on a couple fronts there, and quite frankly, I know that Stein is a member of that social team and has really stewarded that social team in a new direction since his arrival. He is one of my people that I want to sit down with and really just have a good old interview and just
Mm-hmm.
query his mind for how he learned about the business, how they're going about it, what the directions are. Because you have to imagine with a brand that big, what are the limitations and who does it go through? Does it go through him? Does he have a team he has to approve it through?
Mm-hmm.
Because their pivot on that Series S leak was just so expert in its execution. And then the way they've been allowing the different social handles from Xbox to communicate with one another, and then
Mm-hmm.
to round it all the way back, they're bringing out a fridge. They are literally bringing out a fridge.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And I want to sit down with kind of the minds behind that, because they're enabling fans who want to celebrate their brand and their fandom to do so in a way that is, I don't know that unprecedented is the right word, because Nintendo has done some fantastic marketing in their years past, but it certainly is unique. They're
Yeah.
leaning into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are definitely leaning into it, and it's the right way to do it. I mean, you look at you, you just there's a style of marketing out there that's really taking advantage of that, and it's the right way to do it. Like if you can in a way make fun of your brand in a way that just makes you guys look really classy, just run with it. Like just run with it. Find that fine line and just ride it home.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So the question becomes, and Famous Seamus wrote in, are you planning to get this fridge that can also charge your controllers?
I right. The fact that it can also charge controllers. I mean, do I ever have to leave my gaming station? After
Never.
never. I mean, I think the bathroom is the only thing I'm missing, but that's drawing a line.
xCloud,
Um,
brother. It's there.
next thing you know, now we have an Xbox toilet. Yeah.
Oh boy.
um, not confirming or denying nothing. But you know what? Yeah, I definitely want the fridge. Do I have a room in my shoebox apartment for it? No, but I want it anyway.
Mm-hmm. I know exactly what you mean. I'm gonna find a way to make it work.
Mhm.
In this room that is now adorned and decorated with all sorts of gaming memorabilia. The prized possession, of course, is my skate deck signed by Phil Spencer. That to me is my pride and joy. But
Oh,
this room has suddenly gone from a niche of gaming stuff and a bit of Halo to now it's like mostly Halo, because they've had a
mhm.
year's worth of extra marketing for Halo Infinite. So now there's just Halo stuff everywhere in my
Yeah.
room, which is awesome. I gotta say.
That's what I mean, right? Like there's like I always say to people, like, if you're gonna get like gaming memorabilia, you have to it's like planning out furniture for your apartment. You definitely want to make sure you don't just want to throw everything in there, but you want to get the right things to really, again, just be connected with your brand, right? And
Right.
honestly, the Xbox Gear Shop, everything they're coming out with is like premium. Their shirts, by the way, if you guys haven't
Yeah.
got a hold of their shirts, they are the cleanest and the best feeling shirts I've ever worn. And they fit you so well, and the designs on them are wicked. Like I wish they would come out with a subscription platform where you pay like just enough for like I don't know. I'm gonna say like $15 a month. Let's just say $15 a month, and they give you one shirt a month and they'll let you pick whichever shirt you want. Because I have now an Xbox Series X shirt that is just gorgeous, and I have an Xbox 20 years anniversary shirt and has the original Xbox logo on it. I love it to
Mm.
death. And yes, and in long answer to that question, yes, I want that fridge, and I'm gonna have to go to the Xbox Gear Shop to get it, and I love it.
Yo, I'm right on board with you, and I gotta say, equally as excited when it comes to the stuff that they put into that gear shop, because it's I don't know how to describe this perhaps properly, but they do such a good job at rotating things through. I just
Hmm.
purchased two Series X hoodies that I absolutely love, and
Oh yeah.
then I snagged the Halo Master Chief Pride shirt where his visor
Mm.
is Pride colors. It is such a good looking piece of memorabilia that it's fun to be able to celebrate your brand in a way that you enjoy. And so
Yeah.
props to them for that. Like it's like they're just nailing it on that front. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there we go. Xbox mini fridge, $99 American. That's probably $418 Canadian. I'm not
It
quite
sounds
sure.
about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe round up a few, like 50 or 100 more dollars, but it sounds about right.
Yeah, but if we sneeze down here in America, that's $418 where you guys are good to go. You guys are good to go up there in Canada.
There
So,
you go.
I will say one more for our non-Canadian or non-American friends. It looks like the mini fridge is going to be available at Game in the UK for roughly 90 pounds. Available also in France, Germany, Italy, Ireland, Spain, Netherlands, and Poland. You'll be able to get it at GameStop EU for concurrent prices there. Now, Ryan, I know you're a Marvel guy. You know I'm a superhero guy. DC Fandome was this past weekend. We're a day removed at the time of this recording. Have you had a chance to check out any of the announcements from it, any of the game's specific announcements from it, or are you ready for me to wax poetic about how excited I am for Gotham Knights?
I loved your terminology for just waxing poetic, which I do want to hear that. I have seen DC Fandom. It's so ironic. The best way I describe it to people is I love Marvel, hands down. I love Marvel. Can't wait for their event on November 12th. I am like anxiously awaiting. Now that being said, I like DC. I love Marvel, but I like DC. I've grown up with DC. Do I think that their animated stuff is like some of the best animated stuff I've ever seen? 100%.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Do I think Marvel needs to kind of compete with that? 100%. Like Marvel,
Yep.
I can count on I count about 3 or 4 shows in comparison to DC's 20 animated movies and shows, that can compete, but that's not nearly close enough. Yeah, no, I like DC stuff, and yes, so I've watched a bit of DC Fandom. I've checked out all the trailers they could possibly get my hands on. Just a quick rundown for me. Very excited for Matt Reeves' The Batman with Robert Pattinson.
Yes, sir.
I think it's very exciting. Am I a little tired of them exercising probably every single most popular comic of Batman? 100%. I think we've seen every single approach now after this Matt Reeves Batman. I don't know how else they can do it except for like a Disney version of Batman. That's the only thing that has yet to be done. But
lucky for you. No, I'm kidding.
What? No. But what has me excited actually was the animated Batman Cape Crusader, because you have to understand the production talent behind it. They have J.J. Abrams, Matt Reeves, and Bruce Timm. And I would love to see Bruce Timm kind of sit at the table of the higher echelons of Hollywood, because that man's an incredible storyteller. What he did in the 90s with the animated series of Batman and Superman revolutionized the way you should do storytelling in a cartoon platform.
Right. Absolutely. I agree. And in his time, he was fantastic. I'm curious to know just how far that goes. I loved to speak on the animated, the idea that they're making an Injustice film based on the games is so cool to me, which you could argue the comics, the film, and the games all together are its own thing. And if any of comic readers out there haven't read Injustice, do so. If you've not played the stories of Injustice 1 and 2, do so. They're legitimately fantastic. And it's weird. Like, you would not expect it to be fantastic. And they are. They absolutely are.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And man, yeah. So there's so much going on with DC, and it's so much going on in a smart way. The one big project that has caught my attention that I didn't think it would is The Flash. And I would be remiss not to give a quick shout out to my coworker Rav. He's a big DC fan, and he's going to be very upset that I'm not representing DC as probably as well as he could on this show. But he's a big DC fan, and I will have to say The Flash surprised me, like in a
really
mind-blowing way. Well, because I think Flash is a tricky character to do on a TV or a movie medium. And I think the original actor of the Flash, the original Flash movie, said
Wesley
the same
Shipp?
thing. Yeah.
Yep.
He said the same thing. He was like, it's a hard character to do on that medium. Like the cartoons, you could do all sorts of cool stuff, but I think what DC is trying to do with the Flash and being this Hermes of like, being able to be the messenger and like fix the DCEU kind of thing. It's a lot
Right.
of pressure, but if it pays off, oh man, then DC finally will be on the right foot to
Hmm.
not compete with Marvel, but to have that Marvel like thing that DC fans have been craving.
Right. Right. Makes good sense. Makes logical sense. I'm curious to know if they're able to pull it off. I'm the guy that wants Batman, my superheroes, whether it's Batman or any other, in as many places as possible. I want to see Matt Reeves. I want to see Ben Affleck. I want to see
Mm-hmm.
a Batman Beyond with Michael Keaton. I want all of it concurrently. I want video games with all of these characters. I
Yes.
love playing. I'm excited for Guardians. I love playing Avengers, even though it's absolutely made me very angry of late. I love seeing these characters in different mediums, different forms with different creators, and I feel like to John Wesley Shipp's point about the Flash, gaming and animation are two places that I think are perfect for that, and I would love to see that explored more as
Mm-hmm.
as gaming technology now catches up. It looks to me like, I don't know if you caught the trailers for Gotham Knights or Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Gotham Knights to me seems to be really upping the level of fidelity that we're going to see with gaming characters and options. I mean, they're going with this 2-player co-op route with the team of not Batman, but with Nightwing, with Robin, with Red Hood, with Batgirl,
Mm-hmm.
all going around a Gotham that's going to be far more evolved than we've ever seen. And as a diehard Arkham fan, I'm stoked to see just what the technology brings. I'd love to see that carried through to a game about the Flash, a game about different Marvel characters apart from just the Avengers. Insomniac seems to be doing that there. But there's so many places the gaming space can take these stories that I don't think live action film may be
Mm-hmm.
ready for. I mean, they're doing
Yeah.
too hard to argue the MCU and some of the stuff we've gotten out of DC, but there are places that I think games and animation can go that just are not currently doable for live action. What do you think?
I couldn't agree more. And not only that, is that DC has such an incredible depth of characters. Like they have such an incredible roster to pull from.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the good news of what I'm seeing from DC fandom that I really have to give DC props on is they're finally going there. Like they've made some mistakes in the past for sure, hands down. Marvel is not flawless either. Like Marvel's had some errors that they've made throughout the past, but their Marvel is now again learning and fixing what they've done wrong. And DC though, my only problem is they always go back to the Holy Trinity, except they just focus on Batman and Superman because they
Mm,
know if they pump one of those out, it's going to be fantastic.
right.
But and that's the thing. Like Wonder Woman comes out, the first one, and it's
Ah,
amazing. The first one's amazing. It's so good. I don't know what happened on the second
I
one.
do. Ask me what happened because I'll tell you, and then you'll get a spiel. Zack Snyder
Okay.
was involved on that one. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. Is Snyder was involved in that
Oh
one. That really
no.
is the reason. Yep. That I
Yeah.
hate. I hate being that guy because people hate when I am that guy. But Snyder was the
Okay.
reason there. Patty Jenkins, for all her talent, just took it in a different direction. That's all. Just took it in a different direction. It's fine. We're all opposite. We're all cool. It's cool.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing I will say about Snyder on your show. He's a great storyteller. He is a great storyteller. His going through the movie is just like his visuals are absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Now, here's my issue with Snyder. He doesn't know how to end the stories. And he has weird ideas to get to the end, and it's and then it creates this weird tumbling effect, and it's really really bizarre. But I don't get it. The dude is an incredible storyteller, and I think there's a lot of I think there was I think it was Kevin Smith even said it. He said that Snyder would be great as like a director of photography, but like again to helm the entire thing on his own, that's I think it's almost too much for him because like to get those ends are always a bit rocky for him. But I I think again he's a credible storyteller. He would be great to play off of someone like Bruce Timm. Like if Bruce Timm was the director and then he was like a co-director or like the visual guy, then you'd have probably one of the best DC experiences, hands down, no questions asked.
Sure. Sure. Hard to
Right.
argue. Hard to argue,
Mhm.
preference or otherwise. It's hard. That's a hard point to argue. There's good logic.
Yeah.
Now, let's bring this back to the old gaming space, because if we're not
Yes.
careful, I'm going to go
Yes.
down a whole Snyder thing.
Right.
And,
Right.
and as much as my people love me, they already tolerate enough Avengers talk from me. If I start going down my Zack Snyder spiels, it's over.
Mhm.
It's over.
Yeah.
XCP
Mhm.
listenership drops to 7, but we're all really excited about it. Uh, let's talk Gotham Knights. Are you
Yes.
excited for it? Did you catch the trailer? Did you notice
Mhm.
anything in there that arose stirrings within your Marvel heart?
The biggest thing I'm excited about was in the original announcement. First of all, you have to give props to the team that's developing it. I mean, they did work on the Batman Arkham Origins, which is seen as not the greatest or the strongest of the
Mm-hmm.
Batman Arkham series. And that doesn't mean it's a bad game. It's not, but
Right.
it doesn't live up to. And I have to say, my friend, what what Rocksteady did to superhero video games after Batman Arkham Asylum came out,
Yeah.
it just can
Yeah.
we just appreciate what they did for the gaming industry and superhero games? Because
Have to. Have
I,
to.
as a Marvel fan, in my mind, that is the best superhero video game I have ever played, and
It's
so far
just
have
amazing.
ever played. It's
Yeah.
it's incredible. But yeah, so I'm very excited about Arkham Knights. I think that team is doing the right thing by saying, like, look, it's not part of the Arkham game series. Like, we're doing our own thing, which is great because now they have the freedom to really develop what kind of game engine mechanics they want to do. And I think what I'm very excited about is like the I think it's still there, the cooperative element,
Mm-hmm.
right? You
Yep.
can join up with friends. I think that's so smart because when Assassin's Creed did it in the French one there, I think it was brilliant. I was like, yes, like give me more of that. And could you imagine like if Arkham had like a super big online cooperative element where you
Oh,
could have like someone play Robin or Nightwing and you guys both jump in and take out people together? Like it would be
I mean,
fantastic.
that's the promise of Knights, you know? That's the promise of
Yeah.
Knights.
Hell yeah. And like to me, I also love the art, to which Rocksteady's Suicide Squad, the concept is brilliant, but for some reason the art is not appealing to me. I do not like the art of this game. And
Well,
it's the same thing happened to me with Avengers. Like Avengers, I love the idea of the game, but the
mm-hmm.
art for me doesn't quite land it. I don't know why. Superman looks fantastic, but the villains look weird. Like they just look bizarre.
Absolutely. So all right, we'll pivot away from Knights for just a moment because I do want to come back to that at some
Yeah.
point. But Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. This is made by Rocksteady.
Mm-hmm.
This one is in that Arkham universe, and it was kind of neat if you didn't catch that. That's the same character model of the Penguin and the same voice
Mm-hmm.
actor from the Arkham games. That was kind of fun.
Yeah,
But
I
the
love the head
arcs,
shocking thing. That was
yes,
adorable.
it was so good, so good.
Yeah.
But this is strange and awkward in and of itself as well, because it is the second time we've seen Suicide Squad kill the Justice League. It's the
Yeah.
second CGI trailer. We're
Mm-hmm.
told this is a 4-player co-op experience, and the way it's been described several times, it certainly echoes of Avengers, which can raise red flags for even the most avid Marvel fans.
Mm-hmm.
And then for anybody that noticed, there's Brainiac in there, and you got to fight the Justice League, but Brainiac's there bringing robots, which is another red flag for Avengers fans.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's certainly some oddity here. I've not been sold on this game at all, and I'm
Yeah.
sold on Rocksteady. They've never made a bad game. I'm sold on their ability to tell superhero stories, but in my mind, I'm like, yo, make a Superman game, make a Flash game. We've got these heroes, no gameplay yet. It's currently slated for 2022 Series S, X, and PS5 and PC. I
Mm-hmm.
am nervous about this one. Where are you sitting?
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous about this one too. And I think the problem is because the art style doesn't relate to Arkham games as much as it should. I think King Shark actually looks pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
Deadshot doesn't look the same. But I'm not against the choice of how the character's ethnicity at all. But like what I'm weirded about is just the overall tone of the art form because
Mm-hmm.
it just seems like it doesn't fit to the Arkham universe, and yet they say this is a part of the Arkham universe. You know what I
Right.
mean? So if you're
Yes.
going to build it off of the Arkham series, why do they not look like they're characters from the Arkham games to continue that continuity and make it feel like you're getting a new aspect from a different angle? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but gameplay wise, I know Rocksteady tried so incredibly hard to make a Superman Arkham game. There was that debate before,
Mm-hmm.
and I can totally understand why that it didn't work, because Superman is probably the hardest person to do in a video game just because of the structure of his character.
Right.
So like, because like you have to think, and this is kind of like this argument seems kind of dated, but like this guy, you'd have to create circumstances where he has to either fight magical people or people that are equipped with kryptonite. So like, did Lex Luthor rob like a pharmacy and like grab like as much kryptonite as he could and like handed it out to everybody?
Right.
Or and then on top of that, or do you do a game where you have like these stakes where you have to choose A or B, and or try to save two things at once at two very different sides because Superman's just so OP. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
So there's that, and I'm sorry, this is gonna be a long-winded answer, but I'm gonna try to keep it succinct and like get to the point. What I like about what Rocksteady does is when they did Batman Arkham series, it was very much focused and isolated on everything to make you feel like Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So you, as the player, felt like the crime-fighting detective, literally. Like that, it's
Right.
not even about being Batman. It's being the crime-fighting detective that makes up Batman. And then in the end, the result is you're playing Batman, but you feel like Batman.
Right.
So the all the mechanics, the forensics, the figuring out the Riddler clues, all that stuff felt amazing. So with Suicide Squad, of course you're playing the villains. So like I'm thinking kind of like a D&D match here. Are these characters in some way, shape, or form like dungeon masters? Like, do they have distinct advantages within the realm to help you against a hero? Like, is that going to be the defining mechanic?
I sure don't know, man. I sure
Mm-hmm.
don't know. And that's going to be the oddity all around because it, from a gameplay perspective, the Suicide Squad makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
From a story perspective, I'm like, yo, give me the characters I want to play as. I'm not
Right.
interested in playing as Harley Quinn or King Shark or Deadshot or Captain Boomerang. But how do I not trust Rocksteady?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Am I projecting my fears of another Avengers event onto them? Am I projecting other elements? But and to go back to the art style, it doesn't seem to match up. And how do you make a game all the way out of it? And I feel like it's doable. I do feel like it
Mm-hmm.
needs to continuously be pursued. But yeah, questions all around. Questions
Yeah.
all around.
Well, the other thing too is like the way I foresee this game playing out gameplay wise is if it sounds like a co-op, then what's going to happen is I assume the bosses, which are the members of the
The
Justice
Justice
League,
League, right?
yeah, are going to be like tanks. Like they're like you cannot hack it. Like you could hack at their health, like with your melee moves or whatever.
Right.
But I assume you're essentially the level is you're trying to set up a trap, like you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to set up a massive trap with your teammates to deal more increased damage and thus
Mm-hmm.
getting ahead. But if that's the case, then this game's going to be very repetitive by midway through. Whereas Batman, though it had repetitive things, as you grew stronger, the you could do much cooler things and make it again like I love the inverted takedowns. I love the
Mm-hmm.
traps you can set up, like all that stuff. So I'm very curious to see how Suicide Squad's going to play out. But I'd say out of the two, which I think will humbly help us segue back into the one I think you're most excited about. I think out of the two, I'm much more excited about Gotham Knights than I am Suicide Squad, which is a shame because Rocksteady, I know I'd like their resume. I'd be like, oh man, this game should be amazing, but I have a lot as a personal fan invested in their product. I have a lot of questions.
Same. And I think part of my trepidation is exactly what you're talking about. That structural design with the
Mm-hmm.
Arkham games in years past, Arkham Origins included, they can craft a level that allows for you to feel like a particular hero Whereas when you have a vast array of heroes that have wildly different abilities, because again, even to Gotham Knights, you're still a member of the Bat family. You're still going to be using stealth. You're still going to be using physical combat. Whereas with Suicide Squad, you'll be having Boomerang and Deadshot being ranged. You'll have a Hulk-like character in King Shark, and Harley Quinn will likely be a mid-range. They're going to fall into stereotypical roles. And you have to imagine with the success of the Suicide Squad movie and the comics are in a resurgence, you'll see other characters pop up, not just those four, but the controlled environments of a Gotham Knights or an Arkham or an Insomniac Spider-Man type thing allow you to focus on one character's ability set and feeling like that character. And that's what I think Gotham Knights is more likely to bring. I also think we've seen gameplay of Gotham Knights, which is why I'm more excited for that one.
Yeah.
I think that's the big difference as well.
Yeah, I think the problem I have with a lot of game shows and game conferences now is studios tend to lean on a cutscene that's going to help really just hype up the game. And I think there needs to be a healthy balance of like, yeah, show us a trailer, show us like cinematics of the game for sure. But I want a healthy balance of like, of what I can expect from the game. And that will alleviate some of my questions, right? Because Gotham Knights is a perfectly wrapped up announcement. Like, I understand what the game's about. Cutscene was fantastic. And on top of that, I know what the gameplay is going to be about. And they led with gameplay first, which I thought was really smart. They led with it. The first trailer was all gameplay. And I was like, okay, I know exactly what I'm getting from this game. And for me, I can't wait to jump into the Red Hood and just go out and be all Jason Todd-like and just let's rough stuff up, you know? Maybe some Nightwing gameplay. You know, I'm a fan of the early Robins personally.
Interesting. But, Nightwing's my jam. Nightwing is my guy.
I mean, Grayson, a lot of people reading comics would say Tim Drake is like the best Robin ever. But in my mind, Grayson is the best Robin ever because he became essentially a version of Batman. Right. He eventually became the Batman he wanted to be. So, you know, take that, Tim Drake fans.
It's true. It's true. And shout out to anyone. Create a Twitter Spaces on that one, Ryan. I hear that's a really healthy community. If anybody's looking for good Bat family stories, read Battle for the Cowl. You'll learn a lot about these characters. That is such a great arc line that doesn't include Bruce Wayne. And I think in large part, Gotham Knights might explore that as well as Court of Owls, which we haven't talked about yet.
No, yes, we haven't talked about the Court of Owls, and they're a relatively new Batman villain, if I'm not mistaken. Like, they're not
in the world of comics. Yes, very much so.
Very excited about it, though. I think it's a very smart villain, and this is what I love about DC. And it's you know, I don't want to keep like branching out to all sorts of topics here, but DC go to places we haven't seen. Like, we've seen Jokers, we've seen Riddlers, we've seen Two-Faces, we've seen Penguins. Give us Clayface. Give us more Clayface. We haven't seen enough of it, Clayface, in my humble opinion. Give us more. You know, man, I'm trying to think of other Batman villains, but that just goes to my point, right? Like, give us the puppet guy who had the mafia. He had the dual personality with the puppet with the Tommy gun, right?
The ventriloquist. Yes, I know.
The ventriloquist. Give us more of those characters. I have yet to see enough of them. And yes, so this villain is interesting because I think we're going to really take a deep dive into how they play on a higher level of storytelling, because we've only really seen them in the comic books and the animated movies, and that's really just it. Yeah,
no, I agree as well. And to connect to seeing different variants of those characters, Matt Reeves' version and take on Riddler is going to be really exciting to watch as well. Certainly. There is the element that in both Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and Gotham Knights, Batman is not there. Batman is not available. And I call shenanigans on both, of course. We are absolutely going to see Batman in Gotham Knights because there's no way he could truly be dead in that sense. He's just too marketable. And the storylines, I mean, the whole thing with the Talons is that they're reanimated and brought back. And, of course, I believe, in my humble opinion, that the very last Talon you fight will be a Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne made Talon-like, and I am all for it. I don't care how tropey it is, Ryan. I hear the hesitation in your voice. Give it to me now. Let me unlock Mr. Wayne for some DLC. I'm the guy that says, if this is the game I want, I'll pay up to double for even more story for it. And I think that's what fans of like Assassin's Creed are getting when they get Valhalla expansions. Cause like I see that and I'm like, ugh, not more Valhalla. If it's Arkham, I'm like, oh yes, give me more. More Batman, yes, give me more. So I'm betting that's where they go with it. But you seem hesitant on that idea.
I do, because here's the thing: with a game like this, what makes it exciting is that tension between are you going to get Batman in this game, and I think that tension will break if you give Batman, if you give him Batman.
Even at the end, even the very end, like you unlock him for extra stuff to explore Gotham after the story is done.
Perhaps I'll let you get away with it if it's at the last, like, but you have to do some stuff. Like you have to really put your time into the game, which I'm all for. Give me hidden characters, give me secret weapons. Like, what happened to like unlocking things in games as opposed to DLCs and what have you? Like, let me put in the time. When Battleborn came out, when I had to unlock half them characters, I was excited.
No, you did not bring.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I did. I did bring Battleborn on your show because there's something to say about unlocking characters and taking the time to actually build up elements in the game. And that's all I'm going to say about it. Was it a great game? No. Was it good and had potential? Yes. Did it came out at the absolute worst time ever? 100%. And because I'm a big Overwatch fan, love Overwatch. Fantastic game. And here's the thing. With Gotham Knights, if you give Batman too early or you allude that Batman is still alive and you give it at the end, then you ruin the allure of the game. And to be honest, this is what excites me about DC, is because I've seen Batman. And even if I get a glimpse of him in the game and hint at potential, games in the future where you can potentially get him, go for it. Like, yes. You know what? I would love to see this team do one of two things. Either have a side story DLC where you play Batman Beyond, and you play as Terry McGinnis.
Oh, you're getting me all hot and under the collar here. I was mad at you. Now I'm like, all right, yeah, maybe Ryan's a cool guy. I can go with this. It's fine.
But you see my point, though. Like, you see my point is like Batman's not the important character in this game.
Not right now. Not right now. But if they're world,
but that's my point. The second you go to Batman, the world is no longer crafted because you have Batman. That's the thing. It's been even in Marvel when the Guardians came out and it was like Guardians Volume 2, everyone's like, when are you gonna meet the Avengers? And Chris Pratt was like, I hope we don't, because the second we do, you're bringing the world in, and we need to bring the world out. We need to go out there. You can fight me on this all you want, but you will not change my mind. And if you fans, and especially you, Luke, if you want your Batman, go ahead and get him. But the second you do, I guarantee you're gonna be content with that game. You're gonna be like, you know what, this was a great game, and just leave it at that. When you should be wanting more from that, that's when you should want the Batman Beyond. That's when you should want everything that Batman has influenced. And the more you get that, the more you get the influence, the last possible thing, the absolute last thing, when you were like, okay, you know what? This is our Arkham Knight. This is where we've done our run. It's fantastic. Okay, let's give them Batman and let's solidify this world. But the second you do it, if you do it too soon, or if you just do it at the end of this game, then that's all this game will be. It was a fun run playing all the different, Bat sidekicks, and that's it. And I don't want that. I don't want that. I want Batman Beyond. I want to play Terry McGinnis in this game. Like, I want to see how Batman influenced this world. You know what I mean?
I just feel like you could do both, and like he's still a Gotham Knight, like the whole, like he's the OG Gotham Knight. Like you could do both. There's no reason you can't have both.
But that's my point, and there's no audience member, there's no one in the theater for this game that doesn't know Batman, and if you give them Batman, then everyone in the theater would be like, just like, huh, it was good.
No, I'm gonna say it's great. Oh my gosh, dude, all right, so here's the deal, Ryan. You're coming back after this game launches. We're both gonna play it, and we're gonna do a spoiler cast review something. We're gonna partner up and we're gonna talk shop on this one. Okay.
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna hype it up right now. This is like wrestling. All right, buddy. At the time of this game, we're gonna be on. We're gonna be on Twitch, Xbox Canada, and we're gonna play the game.
I'm down. I'm joining you. I'll be Nightwing. You be Robin or Red Hood. Red Hood.
Yep. Thank you.
We're gonna go. We'll take down Mr. Freeze or whomever else shows up in this game, and we're gonna have it out once we find out when and where Batman shows up. That's the plan. That's the plan.
Okay, here's the plan. Okay, but here's the thing. I'm gonna set it out. I'm gonna lay it out for the audience. One key detail.
Cage match. Got it.
Cage match. Yeah. The Hell in the Cell. The thing about it is I'm just the question is Batman in it? And if he is it at the end? Is it in the middle? Do they suggest that he's in it? And then finally, we need to see if he's playable. And I guarantee you, after like a certain amount of time, if he is playable and you get to play him, are you still as interested in the game as you were when it came out?
I can't speak for the audience. Luke Lohr will be, and I think he's at the end. I do think he's at the end. Kind of like Venom at the end of Spider-Man, right? Like I don't know if you played through Insomniac Spider-Man, but you get a tease to Venom, and then Venom's clearly in the second one. I think that's how they'll do it. That's what I think is going to happen.
Here's the thing. I would, on a quick note, because every time you bring up Marvel, I'm going to pounce on it like freaking like
jump on it, man. You know I love me some superhero. I don't adhere to the idea that one's good meaning the other's bad. So bring it. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I love Spider-Man. Do I think that Marvel has more to offer than Spider-Man? 100%. Do I think that Marvel has more to offer than Wolverine? 100%. And I want to see more games. You know, huge shout outs to Firaxis for doing a Midnight Suns game and giving us a whole story arc of different Marvel heroes that we rarely see in games, and giving us a whole new group to actually rally behind and say, this is a cool team. We've seen the X-Men, we've seen Avengers, and we've seen Spider-Man. We've seen every single angle you could possibly approach with that. Where are the Fantastic Four games? Where are the Midnight Suns games? I want to see more of those. And it's cool to see other heroes that people love, like your Captain Americas, your Wolverines, but like, or even Spider-Man's in this case as well. But like, get us out of those characters. We want to see the Moon Knights. We want to see the, Fantastic Four.
Panther. Black Panther is who needs to be given his own game. He needs to be given his own game.
Yes. It was proven in Marvel's Avengers. That expansion, the Wakanda expansion, was amazing. It was incredible. And it was a great look into the world of Black Panther. And I love what Insomniac's doing, because they're doing the Rocksteady formula. You can argue with me as much as you like. They're going to 100% focus on a Spider-Man game, do everything to make you feel like Spider-Man, and now they're going to do a Wolverine one, the same formula. And it's going to be amazing. It's 100% going to be amazing. Why? Because you're focusing on one character and giving that character everything they can do. One of my favorite games was X2 Wolverine's Revenge, done by, I think it was Activision. Did it do everything to make you feel like Wolverine? Yes. Why? They did a Metal Gear-like game, but they gave you the advantages Wolverine has. The ability to sense, the ability to heal. So you had the options of like just going in and wrecking stuff, or being the silent ninja that Wolverine was trained to be. And it's fun. It was a wicked game. It was a wicked tour through the life of Wolverine. You got every character that has ever influenced Wolverine in some way, shape, or form, and it was awesome. And here's my only issue with the Insomniac games and Sony. Can you just like put it on PC for me? Like, I can't justify.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
I can't justify spending that much money to buy a console, which is a great console. Don't get me wrong.
No. Here you're on Reset Era. Xbox Canada host disses PlayStation. Says it's not worth buying. Says he hates it. Yep, it's a war.
Here's the thing. Like, I love it, but isn't it enough to justify paying like $600 essentially for a good, complete PlayStation experience, so I could just play like the critical games I really, really, really want to play? No, it's not. Like, give me the availability to play it on other platforms. That's all I ask. It's all I ask.
Xbox Canada host hates PlayStation. That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
None of this console war nonsense. Get that jargon out of here. I am past. I am past said console war.
Xbox Canada host too good for PlayStation is what I heard that time too. I'm driving that joke into the ground. This is what's happening.
But here's my thing. I'm going to summarize it really quick for you. The superhero games. I'm loving that we're seeing these super high production AAAs. Guardians of the Galaxy's coming out. We have, Insomniac's working on this Wolverine game, which does, again, pique my interest just because it's just so high production. Marvel also has the Midnight Suns games. But you don't need to pump them out as if they're these huge AAA projects. I would love to see a re-release, a remake, or a brand new game of like the Adventures of Batman and Robin, where it's a side-scrolling platform adventure game, where you like, if you guys ever played that game, or you gamers out there, if you gamers ever played that game, it is a complete and super fun side-scrolling platforming experience to make you feel like Batman, and it's so good. It is so good. And would I love to see there was so many times where I kept hearing rumors about a Marvel Hearthstone game. Give me a Marvel Hearthstone game. Like, it doesn't have to be like these massive AAA projects all the time. Where are the 2D pixelated side-scrolling experience? Give me X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. Give me a beat 'em up where I can select different heroes and just have fun with that. Like, doesn't have to be these huge games. Get Dotemu. They're doing I probably butchered that studio, but they're doing like a brand new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, but it's based on Turtles in Time. Give me more of those kind of games. Like, I would be totally content with that.
Preach. Yep.
Yeah.
And while we're pie in the sky dreaming, also Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects, give me a remake. I like that game. I'm all for the 2D games, bringing them all back, make them all the old ones available, make new ones, license stuff like that. Lost to time is always a sad thing for me because, man, Death and Return of Superman was dope too.
It was, and Blizzard made it.
Yeah,
that's
so
insane.
Good. So good. All right, let's shift gears because otherwise we're never gonna stop. Let's shift gears into the old zombie space for a minute. Two things sparking up here. First, we got Back for Blood stuff that I want to ask you about. Second, and perhaps less impactful to the immediate moment, but Dying Light developers have come out and said that they are working on a Series S and X 9th gen patch for this game so that you can play it ahead of Dying Light 2, which is launching February 4th now. I was not a Dying Light guy when it first came out. I now have the premium silver super edition, whatever, of that game when it was on sale. I have not yet really gotten into it. I got through the gym. I now understand the parkour, but it's on hold for a bit. Given that Dying Light 2 is delayed, I decided to put it on hold in favor of some other more recent releases. Does the idea that they're upping this game get you excited? Are you hyped for Dying Light 2? Where are you at on this zombie game?
Well, here's the thing, my friend.
Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Oh,
sorry. Boy. This should have been like the 3-part series of like.
Here's Ryan's thing.
I'm sorry. Oh man, I just love being on your show. I'm trying to consume as much time as possible.
Bring it. I love it.
Okay, so I'm not a fan of zombies. I've mentioned it on my streams many a time.
You're off the show. All right, got it. All right, not a fan of zombies. I got you.
And you just end the show right there. Okay, so I'm not a fan of zombie games because the traditional zombie experience bores me. It's like, oh no, there's a weird disease. It's like infecting people, and now they become zombies. Oh no, like, and then like, oh, people aren't dying; they're coming back from the dead. Must be zombies. Like, it feels like such just a blah thing. But Left 4 Dead and what it does for gaming as a mechanic, the horde mode gaming experience, we need more of those kind of games. I have never had so much fun teaming up with people and running through these crazy circumstances. Like, blowing up the boat was the coolest thing.
So now you're so you do like Back 4 Blood. It's just that zombies aren't your jam.
Yeah, like why could that have been robots?
Well, don't forget that they're ridden. They're ridden and not zombies. So they're not actually dead. They're infected.
That is the biggest load of writing garbage I've ever heard. Anyway. And I'm talking like not the iJustine, garage, I'm talking about garbage in your garage.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, garbage. I gave my review last week. I'm high on Back 4 Blood. I've had some great moments with it. We had a question from a listener on this one, Ryan. Famous Seamus, he
Mhm.
did ask us if we had to create our own team of Back for Blood cleaners from any Xbox slate, who would be on your team? And and the part that I'm adding in there, and why would Marcus Phoenix have to be there? Because like you can't have a cleaner team without Marcus Phoenix with you. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
he's
think you've already reserved. I think when you're asking this question, first of all, famous Seamus, I love the questions you always submit on XEP because it's funny. It's just your questions are so good. They're so
Mhm.
they really spark just like such great conversation. Um, so yeah, and love the name famous Seamus. That's just wonderful. Anyway, yes, Luke, you're right. You got to have Marcus on here. You got to do it.
It's true.
So yes, I would say Marcus, and of course you got to have Chief, and he's just a tank. Like you'd literally have him lead the squad because he can take the damage, and yet he can deal out the damage he takes.
Okay.
Uh,
So we got Chief and Marcus,
yeah, Chief
and then a
Marcus,
Forza car.
and transforms into a robot.
There you go. The dog from Recore.
The actually, I would have Django from Killer Instinct.
Oh, can you imagine?
Right?
That'd be so cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, that'd be
yeah.
cool.
And
That'd be
then
cool.
I need a wild card, like a complete card you would not expect. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna say one of the Battletoads.
Ooh, okay. A lot of melee. It's a melee build right there. That's the melee build.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know how I get through on my team, but Chief and Marcus feel like they got to be there. I got to have Flameheart from Sea of Thieves to do some AOE
Ooh.
effects there, and I feel like he
Mm.
would say some hilarious stuff and some pirate jargon, and Marcus would just look over at him like, shut up, edited for content. I feel like he would have some choice words there, and Chief would just nod, which would be cool. But my fourth character is the one I'm having trouble rounding out here. Doomguy, probably. Would it be Doomguy? I can say Doomguy.
Yeah, Doomguy. You could say actually, yeah, no, 100%. You can't say Doomguy as of the
A couple
Bethesda
months ago.
merge. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I don't know why I didn't think of the Doomguy too. But the thing is about Doomguy is he's very much a in your face character, right? And you already got Marcus,
It's
right?
true. It's
Marcus
true.
is probably one of the best mid-range / close range damage dealers you can get your hands on with the
It's fair.
Lancer. And I'm talking like probably maybe I'm talking like the chainsaw, the first, not the retro Lancer, the Lancer,
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and then I think your Chief is your kind of mid to long. Plus, I think he should have some buffs, like Cortana buffs that he can buff the team, like a Paladin class.
Yeah.
I think
All
would be
right.
really cool.
I'm digging it.
Mhm.
I feel like James Suddy would be very upset with me if I didn't mention the Fallout Boy as potential for being on my team. And Suddy, I want you to know, not a chance. Not a chance. Fallout Boy can never be on my team. He's the worst. They all say I look like him, and I just feel like that's stereotyping. It's just crazy. I don't like it.
I think that's a compliment, my friend. I think you should take that in stride.
I don't want to take it in stride because it's
And you
so
should.
mean.
I honestly think you should. When gaming trade show things are back to being full in person mode, you could rock that cosplay so well.
Oh no! Oh gosh!
You need to do it. You need to do it for the fans. For the fans.
So, no, I can't. But I will tell you, if we go back to the Back for Blood thing, one thing I would think not on my team, but a good like boss in Back for Blood would be Senua with her husband's head just chilling. I feel like we could somehow, some way make that happen from Hellblade. I would dig that. I would dig that.
Yeah, I would dig that too. That game's incredible. Oh my god, Hellblade, just brilliant. Simple, but so creative.
Yeah.
So creative. The sound thing, genius.
Yeah.
Give me more games that complement peripherals, please.
Yep. Well, I think it's time to wrap here. Before we do your closing stuff, a bit of housekeeping, guys. Of course, I'd always ask you guys to subscribe on the old YouTube, rate it on iTunes, etc. I'm currently playing a game I can't talk about, but I will have an updated, or when the game goes live and embargo is up, I'll be able to have a full review ready ahead of time. So shout out to sending codes early. Appreciate that. I also want you guys to know that I'm continuing to play Back for Blood, having a blast. I'm thinking about picking up Crisis Trilogy Remastered. And I need to know as well what interviews you guys would like me to work on having on the show. I've got some Gotham Knights stuff, some stuff for the Gunk, and a few other places, but I need to know who you all want to hear from. So if you have ideas for me or people you'd like me to reach out to, I'll always reach out, and if we're able to set something up, we will. So please let me know on Twitter at InsipidGhost if there's someone you want me to have on the show for an interview or a co-hosting gig like my man Ryan from Xbox Canada's Twitch streams. Ryan, it has been amazing to have you on. I feel like things came full circle just by getting to have you here for me. Please let people know where your content is available. Plug anything you like. It's been a joy to have you. Where can the people find you?
So first and most important of all, please come find me on twitch.tv/Xbox Canada. But if you want more Marvel chat, you need to go to the Rebel Scum podcast and look for the Infinity Rewatch. That is where I talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I fully go into the comic book explanation. Check all that stuff out. I will rant, and it is so great. But yes, Rebel Scum podcast network. They have all they have all my Infinity Rewatch content on there. And as for a guest, I suggest you bring back Thierry from Sabotage Studios. The man's working on a wicked game called Sea of Stars, and it's a cross between Super Mario RPG and Chrono Trigger. And they brought back the original composer to do some songs on the game and he's from Chrono Trigger, and he's doing some songs on the game, and it's going to be epic. I'm so excited for that game.
Ooh, okay. Very cool. And your social space?
And you can find me at Crusader Online on Twitter, and you can find me at Ryan J. Whitehead on Instagram. You'll find some of my personal life posts on there. But hey, if you like hanging out with me, that's where you can find me.